All right. Welcome back, everybody, to another Star Wars Fanatic live stream. Why am I not seeing the video? Can everybody see and hear me okay? All right, there it is. Cool. This makes me happy. And it looks like my mic's working all right. Thank goodness. I'm not having any technical difficulties. I did get up a little early to make sure everything was functioning properly, unlike some of my other live streams where I didn't have a mic and all that, and blah, 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 blah. Welcome back, everybody. I am Gerald. I am a Star Wars fanatic, and it's been probably close to 2 months since I've done a proper live stream. And it's been a long couple months, at least the last 5 weeks or so it's been kind of crazy. First, just give you a little bit of health update. I do return to work next Thursday, as long as my doctor's appointment goes well on Monday. If you didn't know, I was in the hospital for a little while, for about a week, um, with a botched procedure that almost left me completely immobile, as in dead. So I'm here, I'm back, I'm healthy, and I have a scar to prove it. I'm not going to show it to you, though. That's kind of weird. But there's a lot going on in the Star Wars galaxy, even though there are no shows currently airing. The Mandalorian season 3 is wrapped up, the Bad Batch season 2 is wrapped up, and we're just waiting on Ahsoka in August. And I can't wait for that one. I don't want to hurry summer along, but yeah, I'm ready for the Ahsoka show, especially since Ray Stevenson's in it. And before the Ahsoka trailer, I didn't really know who he was, and I'm sorry for that. That's partially my fault, I guess. But lately, I've been watching a show called Rome on, I think it's on HBO. Um, that show's about Julius Caesar and different side characters and stuff, and it's really good. And I didn't even realize it that Ray Stevenson is in Rome, and he's a great character, and I love his performance, and I'm ready for him to be in the Ahsoka show wielding a lightsaber. I think this is going to be awesome. He's quite a bit older now than he was then. I'm drinking my coffee. Sorry, guys. Hey, Endless Rage, thank you so much. I feel much better. I haven't done a live stream lately to update you guys because it takes a lot for me to talk a lot, and I felt like this was probably the best I'm going to get at it until I'm completely healed within the next couple weeks. So if I have to take a pause to take a breath, please forgive me for that. It kind of sucks. Even when I'm making videos, it takes me longer to do so, because I have to take so many breaks just to breathe. And yeah, so there's that. I'm alive and well. There's no threat of me going anywhere. I promise to pull through for my family and for you guys. Even though there were times in the hospital when I was like, no, please just end me, let it go. I'm not worth all this trouble. But I made it. And I want to thank my wife and kids for being there for me, because these last 5 weeks have been just excruciating. And without them, then it wouldn't have been so much, worth going through. Um, they've really helped me. They've really been picking up the slack where I used to do the heavy lifting around here and home repair. They've been helping me with that. They've been doing the mowing and all that stuff. I know that's kind of boring to hear about my life and everything, but I just wanted to let you guys know I am okay. I'm doing a lot better, and I'd just see me getting better from here out. Um, Hey, thank you, someone, and thank you, Ethan E. Dog. Yeah, Rome is it's a really good show. I haven't finished it yet. I'm in season 2. There's only 2 seasons of it, but Ray Stevenson's definitely my favorite part of the show. Um, I really enjoy the story that's going on in the show, um, in between all the sex scenes. Yeah, that's kind of hard to sit through. So if you're squeamish about that kind of thing, like a Game of Thrones style Rome esque show, then probably stay away from it. Hey, Sydney, good to see you. And I'm having a hard time saying your name. Doucet. Tandy. Sorry if I said that wrong. And let's see who else we got in here. Red Terror Productions, good to see you. Robbie Bonham, good. Thank you. And Knut, as always, good to see you, buddy. Thanks for being here. And anybody I missed, I'm sorry, but thank you. Thank you all so much for joining me today. So back to the Ahsoka series. Set to open up in August, and from what I'm hearing, it's 8 episodes, an hour each. Which, thank you, Finally, I mean, Andor proved it could be done. Shows like Rings of Power, Game of Thrones, that kind of thing showed it can be done with these highly technological shows, these special effects driven type shows that take a little bit longer than a sitcom to make, or a lot longer than a sitcom to make. Sitcoms, you go in, you read your lines, you say your lines, you make jokes and all that stuff, and it's over. Wherein these sci-fi shows, there's special effects, there's a ton of editing and adding in and CGI and all that stuff that takes it a little bit longer to make. So 8 episodes, yeah, it kind of sucks that there are only 8 episodes of each series that we've seen other than Andor. But an hour long makes up for it. Hey, hey, Dr. Good to see you, buddy. And yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. And let's see. In the Andor update, it looks like Tony Gilroy will not be sitting in on the production of it due to the strike that's going on. If you didn't know, there's a Writers Guild of America strike going on in Hollywood where the writers are not participating in production of shows. So that's delayed a lot of shows. And I'm hoping Andor doesn't get delayed. But at the same time, if it does get delayed, it's because I want Tony Gilroy to actually be there in the production. He made Andor season 1 great. He made the edits and reshoots of Rogue One amazing. And he did the writing so good in that. I'd really want him to be a part of it. So, okay, Andor is delayed. All right. I'm a little behind on my news, as you can tell. And yeah, it's been a wonderful Star Wars driven season. I mean, even without the Mandalorian airing, and I missed a lot that went. I missed making a lot of videos during the Mandalorian season 3 because I was in the hospital and all that stuff, and I really missed some opportunities there. But I really had to get myself in track. I did do that one embarrassing video from the hospital, that live stream that lasted about 9 minutes. Just appreciating you guys, and I really do appreciate you guys and all the support I've been getting and everything that you guys have done for me and been patient with me and sending well thoughts and well wishes and prayers and all that. It's definitely helped. It's helped me, and it's helped the channel. It's helped my family. Just knowing that, you guys are there and you're just waiting for me. And I like that. Good morning, Mom. Good to see you. If everybody didn't know, Bonnie is my mother. Huge supporter of the channel, and I appreciate that so much. Peter for Lifer, good to see you. Yeah, amen to 1 hour. 1 hour shows, thank goodness. And from what I'm understanding, there's going to be a lot more to the Ahsoka show as far as Ezra Bridger and Thrawn, is their location and all that stuff. Some new galaxy or an unknown region of the galaxy, the Beyond, I think they called it. Hey, thank you, Knut. I appreciate that. I haven't played Jedi Survivor yet. There is a character in Mandalorian armor that you like. I have played Jedi Survivor. I haven't finished it, but I did spoil myself in seeing that cameo. And I was mad at myself for seeing the video. Somebody said, this person shows up. And I'm like, oh, cool. Maybe it's somebody from the last Jedi Survivor, and I looked it up. I was like, oh, come on. Why did I watch that? Oh, yeah. So coffee's good. I like my coffee. So yeah, thank you all for the support you've given me over the last 5 6 weeks, 5.5 weeks, something like that. It's been amazing, and I really appreciate it. My channel had suffered from it. YouTube doesn't like it when you stop making videos for a while. Then it's almost like you have to start all over again after that. And I've been trying to start all over again after that, and I've lost some subscribers and gained some new people, and some of you here are new faces, and I appreciate all of you. Um, the Jedi Survivor, I'm loving that game. When I first downloaded it, I'm playing it on PC. When I first downloaded it and I started playing it, I had no issues with it at all. None. Everybody was complaining about frame rate drops and lag and all this stuff on PC, and I was experiencing none of that. It was as if, hey, maybe I'm, special. Maybe everything's paying off in the end, because that's all I've had to do for the last 5 weeks is play games or do some light cleaning around the house or cooking or something. Um, but I had no issues with it until the first patch. The first patch came in and it made the game unplayable for me. I couldn't even play it because there was so much lag that by the time my character caught up with what was going on around, that I was already being killed. And I didn't even know there was anybody around to kill me. Just somebody show up and ding, gone. Gone, buddy. And it it sucked. So I stopped playing it for a little bit and picked it up for a little bit more, and it seemed to get a little bit better. And now there's another patch out, so that's going to take roughly 2 hours to download for some reason. It must be a huge patch, but hopefully it doesn't hurt my gameplay at all, because it drives me nuts. So instead, I have been playing a lot of uh, Hogwarts Legacy. And Wonky Guy, thank you. And thank you so much. I appreciate that. I said, glad you're feeling better, man. I am feeling so much better. Um, and I'll get more into that in just a minute. But it's been crazy because the Hogwarts Legacy, I'm loving that game. I know this isn't a Harry Potter themed channel or anything, but I am loving that game. And I've also been playing some Fortnite, trying to grind out those new skins that they've put out for Star Wars. But uh, yeah, so the Harry Potter stuff's really, really getting me going. I'm about 35% complete of that game. Thank you, Endless Rage. I appreciate that. And what'd you say, Mom? Hi, fans. I'm so proud of my son. Everyone I've told about his channel loves it. Oh, thanks. And some people don't love my channel. And that's okay. To each their own. Everybody has their own taste, and they're allowed to that. Um, I would never, ever criticize anybody for this not being their cup of tea. This is, it's a positive channel, and a lot of stuff out there now is not positive in the Star Wars universe, and I don't really want to get into that because I've beat it like a dead horse. And I said it in one of my other videos, but can somebody explain to me who actually beat a dead horse to garner that for being a saying? Because that's kind of sick. Um, I wouldn't beat a dead horse. I wouldn't beat a dead anything. Maybe a squash. I might beat a dead squash, like a baseball, but not a dead horse or cat or dog or turtle or frog, dolphin, porpoise, whatever. I wouldn't. Oh yeah, Ethan, it is so much fun, the Hogwarts game. And originally, I had my character looking like a hobo because I thought it was funny. He had floppy hat and he was wearing a carpet for a cape and all this stuff. He looked homeless, and I loved it. But then I discovered how to change appearances, and now he just looks like a badass. Oh, Mom, I'd beat the hell out of some dead broccoli. Yeah, I don't like broccoli. Stuff's gross. Ugh. Y'all, if you like it, congratulations. I'm glad you do. Um, and thank you, Endless Rage. I appreciate that compliment so much. I mean, you guys don't even know. Um, as you can see, I've started paring down a little bit what's up here, if you can tell. Um, and I've started paring down in other ways too, because we're trying to prepare our house to sell. We're trying to find something a little bit smaller with a little bit of land, and in a couple years we'll probably be empty nesters, and we don't need so much space. It's just going to be the two of us, so we'd like to have a little bit of land to just sit outside and and just enjoy a sunrise or sunset. But let me catch my breath for a second. Sorry. All right, so this whole experience with the hospital and all that stuff, it's it's changed me quite a bit. Not as far as what I do on YouTube or anything, but the way I look at things, the way I look at life. I always looked at Star Wars in a positive way, but now I'm trying to look at life in general in a different lens. Although I will still keep up my modest paying job and uh, my career there, it's taught me that when I was young, I'd work 12, 14, 16-hour days at a job site or at a job location or whatever. But now I'm not seeing that. I'm not seeing doing that. I don't see working that many hours a day. Um, it's been uh, it's been rough, but it's also opened my eyes to a lot that there are more important things in life than just money. Um, Although we need money to survive the way our society is now, it just I don't need to live lavishly. I don't need to set that as a goal. I need to set a goal of being more with my family, more home work life balance, more time to enjoy the real things in life, like my family, my kids, my home, um, projects I like to do, my art, reading, and my Star Wars channel. I'm really working hard to bring my channel back up to where it was just before I went in the hospital. Um, yeah, that's a bo-katan helmet. I do have a Boba Fett helmet too. Let me see if I can do this without screwing everything up. Uh, Boba Fett and a stormtrooper. Um, Also down there, right there, you can't see it, but there's a Darth Vader helmet. Um, they're all Black Series. They're not privately commissioned or anything, so they're not the big $400 helmets or anything. The cheapos. That's correct, Endless Rage. Thank you. Yeah, I am doing what makes me enjoy life more, DR. Um, in this channel, I enjoy it. I truly enjoy making videos for this channel. I enjoy everything about it. I like talking about Star Wars, joking about Star Wars, and that's another thing. A lot of people don't take my jokes right. They think, oh, this guy's not serious about Star Wars. Well, I am serious about Star Wars. I just also make jokes. When me and my wife are watching movies of any kind or shows, I make jokes during those shows, whether I love the shows, the movies, or whatever, or not. I make jokes. That's just what I do. I'll make fun of somebody's hair, or I'll make fun of the way somebody talks, or something like that. And like Rome, oh my God, it gives me so much fuel for comedy. It's it's crazy. Um, Oh, cool, Robbie. If you're not on my Discord, join my Discord and upload a picture of it. I'd like to see it. Yeah, I wouldn't. The Obi-Wan season two thing, I wouldn't mind that, Mom. Only I don't know what there's left to tell. Um, a lot of it seems like it would just be Obi-Wan Kenobi in the desert watching over Luke, and when the Obi-Wan Kenobi series was first mentioned, that was my fear that we were just going to see him sitting in the desert watching Luke, maybe swat off a couple sand people or um, some Jawas, and we did see a Jawa in there with him doing some shady business. But um, I'll get to that in just a minute, Dr. But a season 2 of Obi-Wan Kenobi seems like it would be that, because the Leia story's done, and now we understand why she named her son Ben, because Ben Kenobi helped her when she was a child. So it all plays back to itself. So and I know a lot of people are going to hate me for this, but I love the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. There were parts of it were cringy. There were actors in it that I thought didn't perform up to the standard of Ewan McGregor or Hayden Christensen. Christensen, if anybody doesn't know, it's not Christiansen like a lot of people say. It's Christensen. There's no I-A. Anyway, so I liked the Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi moments. I loved them. I thought they wrapped up A New Hope nicely. They told the part of the story that I had questioned for so many decades of why Obi-Wan Kenobi lied to Luke Skywalker and said that Darth Vader was a separate person, was a pupil of his, and all this. You can't pawn that off as just my point of view. You have to look at it as Darth Vader and Luke and Anakin Skywalker were two separate people, two separate personas inhabiting the same body. And that was hard for me to wrap my head around until the Kenobi series, where he's like, I killed Anakin. And I was like, okay, now that makes a lot of sense. I know he said it to Ahsoka way back when, but that was more of a passing thing, like, hey, Ahsoka, you're not even in the original trilogy. I don't care, whatever. I killed Anakin, blah, 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 blah. But with him saying it to Obi-Wan Kenobi, it carried over into A New Hope, where Obi-Wan Kenobi could tell Luke Skywalker, this guy fried my brain. This dude, he really messed me up. And now I have to come to terms with Anakin Skywalker is dead. Okay. So back to DR's thing. You want me to rank it? Well, in my last video, or a video before it, or something like that, one of my dudes who has a YouTube channel, Brody1 Kenobi, he created a video that said, or that was about AI ranking the Star Wars films. And it was interesting stuff. It's in a link to my second to last video, so go check him out. Give him some support. He's a smaller channel and he's a great dude. But it ranked all the movies and everything, and he gave his assessment of it, of what he thought could have been moved around and all that. And in the comments, I put, well, I've often thought about this, and a lot of people have asked me, how I would rank the Star Wars movies. Well, I can't rank the movies. It's hard for me because I'm in a different mood at different times, and at different times I want to watch a different Star Wars movie. Like sometimes I want to watch Revenge of the Sith. Sometimes I want to watch A New Hope. Sometimes I want to watch Phantom Menace just to laugh at Jar Jar because, I like funny stuff. And sometimes I want to watch The Last Jedi just to get some notes on that, or The Rise of Skywalker. But there's never a time where I say, okay, I don't want to watch Empire Strikes Back. Anytime somebody says, hey, you want to watch Empire Strikes Back? Hell yeah, let's do it. Let's watch it. Let's go. So Empire Strikes Back's my number one. That's my first. And then everything else is number two. It's pretty simple. That's my ranking. Empire Strikes Back at one, everything else at two. Exactly, Endless Rage. So you want me to rank The Mandalorian, season 1, 2, 3, and the Book of Boba Fett, least to best. As much as I of a fanboy as I am for Boba Fett, Book of Boba Fett goes to last place. Not saying it's bad, not saying I hated it. I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought there were elements of it that could have been better, things that could have been done better. And one of those things is, dude, just kill somebody. Sure, you killed Cad Bane, that's awesome, but just teach somebody a lesson. Don't leave it to somebody else. You're Boba Fett. You caught Chewbacca on fire. You lit him up, smelled like burnt hair all over the Crimson Dawn place, and and you shot a big hole through, what was his name, Bylert Vance or Valance. You dismembered poor Bosk. Just show a little bit of your old character and take somebody out. Sure, the biker gang was cool to see him shoot them down from the Slave One, not Boba Fett's starship. Sorry, I'm old school. I'm OG. So the Book of Boba Fett goes in last. Then comes The Mandalorian Season 1. As much as I love The Mandalorian Season 1, I thought it was great and everything. There was a lot of action, a lot of background story in it, and, well, not a lot, but a little bit of background story as to why Din Djarin didn't like droids. They attacked his home, killed his parents, so on and so forth. But it didn't go into who his parents actually were, so that kind of hit me, and I was hoping later seasons would show who his parents actually were. And if Don, if you're on here, I'm in camp with you, where I think they were guardians of the Wills, or Wills themselves, maybe, but nobody's ever said anything. And then we have The Mandalorian Season 2. Loved it. Thought it was great. Thought it was amazing. I loved all the cameos in it. I loved all the extra actors that showed up, like the Miggs Mayfeld character played by Bill Burr. I thought that was awesome because Bill Burr hates Star Wars. And then he was in a Star Wars show. Come on. How much better do you get than that? And in the first one, we did have, what's his name? The comedian who was driving the speeder. My memory isn't what it used to be. I'll think of it in a little bit and then I'll just blurt it out. Don't worry. But in The Mandalorian Season 2, the thing that really, and I know a lot of people love this about The Mandalorian Season 2, but Luke Skywalker showing up at the end. Cool scene. Great stuff. Loved it. Thought it was neat. But did it have to be Luke Skywalker? It seemed like a Deus Ex Machina for the show. Like they're in a hopeless situation and boom, some just Ghost in the Machine arrives and saves the day. Where it took away from what Mandalorians are. Mandalorians are do or die people. And they were sitting there prepared to die, which I didn't want to see that happen either, but I think they would have done. They would have overcame because they've overcame adversity so many times. They didn't really need a Jedi to show up to whoomp whoomp them. It just seemed irrelevant. And then that ties back to the Book of Boba Fett. Grogu is taken away in this heartfelt moment by Luke Skywalker and going to be trained as a Jedi. Cool. That's awesome. He's got Force abilities. He needs to be trained as a Jedi. Well, shortly thereafter, he leaves and goes to join in the fight with Boba Fett. I know it was said to be 2 years that he was with Luke Skywalker, and given 2 years in training with Luke Skywalker is more training than Luke Skywalker had with Yoda, which was about 18 months. Jason Sudeikis, yes, another good character, or good cameo there. Thank you, Graham Kono. I appreciate that. Yeah, he did kill Cad Bane. The lights didn't go out. They came on when Cad Bane died to let him know that to signify that his life support was giving out. Yeah, the original movie, Ethan, was supposed to be written by, what's his name? The guy that did Logan, and he's also going to work on another Star Wars project now, Mangold. I want to say Jerry, but I'm wrong on that, I know. Did Luke give Grogu a choice or an ultimatum? That's a good question, and one that I would love to dig into. It looks like ads are going to run. Oh, that's weird. I don't remember setting that up. So, The Mandalorian Season 3 for me was the best out of all of those. Why? Because it was about Mandalorians. It was about their culture. It was about how they overcome adversity, how they band together when the time's right to do what needs to be done. I know the show's supposed to be about Mando and Grogu and all this, and it really was. It was still about them. There were some cheesy moments like Grogu flipping around the Praetorian guards and all that stuff. Um, Not yet, Knut. I'll get back to you in just a second on that. Um, but to me, it still was about that. It was about how Mando and Grogu instigated all of this, all of the Mandalorians coming together. If Din Djarin had not ran into Bo-Katan and helped her out, and some mutual weird arrangement they had, then Bo-Katan would not have reunited with other Mandalorians. She would not have realized the error of her ways as a leader before. She would have just, stayed in her castle sulking for a while until the Empire bombed it, which was a cool scene too. Um, I didn't mind Jack Black and Lizzo being in it, to be honest. Before the show came out, I didn't even know who Lizzo was. So I didn't see a problem with it until everybody started beefing about it. And I was like, what's everybody on about? What's this? What? Who cares? Who cares who plays what? Jack Black could have been way worse. I mean, have you seen Tropic Thunder? Have you seen how inappropriate he is in the Jumanji movies? Come on. He could have been a lot worse. And he was only in it for like 10 minutes. So they were goofy. And I think that's part of the utopian society they were living in. It was supposed to be goofy, but it was also controlled by a maniacal security guard named Christopher Lloyd. All right. So, Knut, back to your question. Have you seen the Boba Fett Returns and Bounty Hunters 35 comic on June 21st and Hyperspace Stories 7 comic on August 2nd? I have not. As I said, I've been out of commission, and being out of commission, I haven't really went to my favorite comic book store lately. Um, I went in there one day shortly after I got out of the hospital, and I don't remember much of it because I was still on pain pills and stuff. So I really wasn't paying attention to what was actually in there because I was just focused on trying to move, just trying to get around. And with that, I am up to walking almost a mile now. I do get winded and I have to stop a little bit and just take a breath. But it it's been it's been great. I've been healing. So now I do plan a run to the comic book store here soon. Hopefully, as soon as I get this house prepped to sell, um, I can make it back over there. I'm trying not to buy anything else to put into the house because, as you can see down there, down there, my comics are not there. That's because I've boxed them up and put them away in storage, waiting to sell the house, and then I'll break them out again and redo everything. But as you can see, I also added a new Lego set down there, that TIE bomber. Yeah. When I was in the hospital, my wife was running out to get some stuff from the house, and she said, "Do you need anything? Do you want anything or anything?" And I was like, "Yeah, I want a new Lego set. Will you get me the TIE bomber?" Yeah, she was real happy about that one. I'm sure it was like a $60 set, but she got it for me. And as I laid there in the hospital in a medicated state, I put together my little Lego TIE bomber, and it was a fun little build. Um, yeah, I was out of it for quite a while, Mom. I don't remember much um, for the first few days in the hospital. I don't remember being in the recovery room after my surgery. A lot of people were there. I remember one, maybe two people being there in the recovery room. I don't remember being transported to my room. Um, I just remember uh, just being there. I don't know. Um, yeah, it was a long fight, but I've went on about that enough, I think. Um, hey, Dale, good to see you. And Aiden Allen, my wife is amazing. She's really amazing. Anybody else would have said, "No, I'm not buying you a Lego set. You lay there and you get better." But I needed something for my mind, to get my mind off of what was going on in the hospital. Uh, I tried reading and I couldn't focus on the book. It just, I, my eyes wouldn't focus on it for some reason. I couldn't hold the attention. So I just needed something to preoccupy me. All right. Fuji asks, what happened to me? Okay, so April 13th, I went in for a colonoscopy because I'm 50 years old and we have to do that kind of thing because we're old. Old people have to get colonoscopies. It's a part of life that sucks, but it is one of those bad necessities. Um, so I went in for a colonoscopy. The next day, I woke up at 3 a.m. to watch The Mandalorian. I think it was chapter 23, the second to last one. Um, I woke up to watch that and make a video on it and all that. And I don't remember if I made a video or not, but I was in a lot of pain the whole time. Like my stomach hurt really bad. And I was like, okay, this sucks, but I just had a procedure yesterday, so that explains why my stomach sucks right now. So I went back to bed, hoping I could rest some of it off before I had to go to work. So I get up for work, and I'm still hurting. Um, and I get into work, and I'm being made fun of at work and everything because they knew what I went through the day before. They're like, "Yeah, you had a colonoscopy, whatever. Just suck it up and live. Just suck it up and get back to work." So finally, after before the day was even over, I told my boss. I said, "Look, man, I gotta go." I said, I can barely move. I'm having a hard time here." And at that time, I didn't have a fever really, but by the time I got home, my fever was at 100. And I was like, okay, I just need to sit down and rest. I just need to rest. I'll sit in my recliner. I'll watch some TV. Um, Told my wife, I said, go ahead and go do your errands because she wanted me to go to the hospital then. And I said, no, I'm fine. Just go do your errands. Um, when you come back, we'll reassess. Well, by the time she got back, my fever was like 103, and I was shaking. Like my whole body was shaking really bad, and I was having really bad pains in my stomach. And finally, I told her, I said, okay, call the on call surgeon, see if they can get me into the hospital, get me in the ER quicker. I don't want to sit in an emergency room for 2 hours with this going on. I want to hurry up and be looked at. So she called him, and it took him forever to call us back. So we went to the ER anyway. And on our way there, the surgeon called and he said, yeah, we'll try to get you in quicker. Just go on in. It sounds like something is wrong. So we go in, they do all my vitals, take my temperature and everything. I sat in the waiting room for about 45 minutes, which was good time because normally it's like 2-3 hour wait in the emergency room at this hospital. And they get me back, they start running tests and everything, and they did a CAT scan, blood test, x-ray, all kinds of stuff. And then a surgeon comes into the room and says, yeah, we're going to have to prep you for surgery. I said, oh, well, when? She said, now. We need to get you in there now. I said, I don't want to be cut up. I said, I don't want to be cut on. And she said, you go in or you're going to die. And I said, oh, okay, well, let's do it. So they explained the surgery to me and everything. They told me they had found a hole in my colon where the doctor that did the colonoscopy burned a polyp off, but burned it for too long and burned a hole through my colon. So in surgery, they took out 4 inches of my colon and stapled me up inside and out, and or stitched me inside and stapled me outside. And there I sat and recovering for um, 6 days. And I've been off work for 5 weeks. No, I didn't get that from my dad. My dad's not a big sports fan. Um, Got it from my mom. And I was a Bengals fan for a long time until Mike Brown just showed that he was incompetent. And then I just got so tired of being disappointed that I just fell away from it for a little while. And then recently, with Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, and all those guys, it's just been reinvigorating. Actually, endless rage, I like the Chiefs. I think Patrick Mahomes is a hell of a quarterback. Um, he's he's amazing. I mean, I've never seen somebody that just go hit their target 20 yards away. He's a great guy. And my son, the Chiefs are his favorite team. I bought him a Patrick Mahomes jersey for Christmas and everything. Fuji, that is something I am talking with attorneys about right now. So I don't know. We'll see. I don't know what the laws are on that, or even if I have a case or anything, but I'll find out. I'm not looking to get rich or anything. I just have a lot of medical bills now, and that I should not have had. Um, and while I was in the hospital, I forgot this part. While I was in there, I was stapled up, and I went to use the restroom or water closet if you're in the UK. And I looked in the mirror and I looked at my stomach, and there was red around it, like red splotches all around the incision. And it was a little swollen, and I touched it. It felt really hot. And I went into my wife. I said, "Does this look normal?" Immediately she hit the nurse's button. The nurse comes in, and I showed her what was going on. And she's like, "No." And it wasn't even 10 minutes later. The surgeon was in there. She's like, "Yeah, that's not normal. I'm going to have to open you up." And I was like, "What?" I said, "No, no, can't you just give me an antibiotic or something?" She said, "You've been on antibiotics this whole time you've been in here. Um, and obviously it's not working. We have to drain it, clean it, and all that stuff." I was like, "All right, numb me up and do it, I guess." She goes, "No, we can't numb you up because it'll mess with the antibiotics that are in you. Will the, the numbing won't work." I was like, "Oh my God." So they had to cut me open again without antibiotics. Um, I had a pillow over my head, so I don't know exactly what they're doing, but I imagine they had a Q-tip in there or something, just gutting me, cleaning me out. Um, and the whole time I'm screaming and I'm crying, and there's so much pain. And I was just like, I just kept telling the surgeon, I shouldn't even be here. This this shouldn't even be happening to me. Why is this happening to me? And the surgeon told me, she said, "Look, I'll put it to you this way. I know you're scared." She said, "But I will tell you when there's a time to really be scared. And when you came into the hospital, you should have really been scared." I said, "Well, I was too out of it to understand what was going on, really." Um, and thank you, Aiden. It was insane. Like I said, it's been a rough 5 weeks, and I still have pain, but it's not as bad as it was. I got this ugly scar. I haven't been out in the sun much, so now I look like Frankenstein's ghost, and it's horrible. It's just, but I'm getting through it, and my will to survive and be even better is better than ever. And now I will never do another colonoscopy. I don't care how much they beg me and tell me I need to. No, I'll just eat more roughage and bran and just keep myself clean. Hummus. Yeah, it was bad. It was really bad. Um, Thanks, Mom. And I appreciate you being there too, Mom. If you guys didn't know, my mom, she was at the hospital with me almost every day. Um, and it was nice. The show needed some goofy. So, yeah, that's enough about me. I've been talking about me for a while now, and I'm just over it. Just ready to get on with my life, get on with everything. I did want to give you guys an update so you know I am doing okay, and there's no threat of me getting an infection or splitting open or anything and looking like one of the chest poppers from Aliens. Uh, that's not going to happen like that. I'm strong. I'm strong-willed. I've been through a lot of things physically in my life. I had a collapse lung 3 times when I was in my 20s. Had to have surgery for that. I've had a torn rotator cuff, had surgery for that. I've had kidney stones. Got bit by a brown recluse that almost killed me and had to have surgery for that. They had to cut me open and scrape me out without anesthesia. That was all fun. So I've had a lot happen to me, and then just this was the biggest, and it took a lot out of me, and it's changed my perspective. Life isn't just some negative thing that we can just take as, I hate this, I hate this, I hate this. No, just take it and move on with it and take it as an experience that you can learn from and enjoy the rest of your life. And I know I've been preaching positivity in the Star Wars community for a long time, but this really, really, really solidifies that belief that being positive about what you love helps you in your everyday life. If you don't like something, don't watch it. If you don't like this aspect of it don't frequent channels or forums or Facebook pages that do like it, that do enjoy it. Why you want to take away other people's enjoyment? Don't enjoy it. Okay, don't go near it. Like I said before, I hate broccoli. Can't stand the stuff. But I don't go to channels that cook broccoli. I don't go to Facebook forums that say broccoli's the best food ever and tell them they're eating crap. Why? Because they like it. So what? Let them like it. What's it matter? There are other foods out there that I can enjoy. And there are other movies and shows out there that people can enjoy if they don't enjoy what's coming out of Star Wars. And to me, I'm a 4-year-old when I go watch Star Wars. I got that 4-year-old mentality, like, ooh, it's Star Wars, And it's not because of who owns it. I'm not a shill for Disney. I don't care. I don't care who owns it. George Lucas owned it, and a lot of people say he made a lot of crap too, and I don't see it. It's Star Wars to me. Even the 1978 holiday special. My mom will attest. I was there watching that special live when it came out in 1978 as a 6-year-old. I loved it. Even I didn't understand the weird itchy thing because I was too young, but I loved the holiday special. I thought it was just really good. Thanks, Mom. I enjoyed taking you out. Yeah, you either hummus hero. Thank you. You either enjoy life or you become miserable. And I'm not going to become miserable. And I'm not going to become miserable in spite of it. I'm not going to become miserable despite it. I'm not going to become miserable at all. I'm not going to stay positive in spite of it or despite it either. I'm going to just live my life because it's so short. You don't know when it's over. You don't know when your time comes. And we all take for granted that we're going to live 70, 80, 90 years or whatever. And that may not be the case. Um, so I'm not going to sit here and take notes about things I hate when I watch a Star Wars show. I'm going to sit there and I'm just going to absorb it. I'm just going to take it for what it is. And that's what it is, Aiden. It's entertainment. It's all entertainment. It's there to entertain us. It's there to make us either like something or dislike something. If we dislike it, just move on from it. There's shows I've watched that I didn't really care for, and I just, okay, well, that was that. Don't feel like it was a waste of my time. I got to experience it, but okay, have fun with it. Um, Let me see here. Oof. Yeah, I don't want to repeat that one, Ethan. I'm sorry you had to go through that, buddy. Yeah, I've had kidney stones, so I can't imagine what you went through. Um, but yeah, I mean, and with these updates with Star Wars, that's another thing I wanted to talk about. The Galactic Starcruiser is closing. If you guys didn't know, in September it will be shutting down, and it will no longer be a feature of Disney World in Florida, where you can stay 2 nights and experience Star Wars on a Galactic Starcruiser. Now, a lot of people are out there saying, "Good, good, it needs to shut down. Who cares?" Well, if you weren't going to go to it, what's it matter to you if it shuts down or stays open? Some people enjoyed it. A lot of people enjoyed it. I've never heard anybody say they went to it and hated it. Try to find me that review. Uh, who spent $2,400 to stay in a hotel for 2 nights and said they hated it? Can't think of anybody. The price is a bit out there. I would never be able to afford it. I wish I could. I wish I could have went to it. I wish, Disney could have, said, "Hey, Star Wars fanatic, go check this out." But there's bigger channels out there. There's bigger people that do better reviews and stuff. And I get it. I'm low on the totem pole. Yeah, exactly. I think the price point should have been lowered, maybe by half. I think by half, then they probably would have had solid bookings forever. $6,000 uh, DR is for a family plan. It would be $2,400 for an individual. So if my wife and I went, it would have been $4,800 for us to stay 2 nights at Galactic Starcruiser. And what I didn't know about it is that they also provide 1 day admission to Hollywood Studios at Disney World, which is my favorite park there other than Magic Kingdom. Yeah, I like Disney World. I've never had a place that's tried to entertain me so much, um, to the point where it almost gets annoying, but it doesn't at the same time. Um, Standing in lines for stuff. They've got all kinds of stuff going on. They entertain you. Our closest theme park is Kings Island, um, in Cincinnati, and I don't like it there. They have a lot of cool rides and everything, but for one, my stomach doesn't like heights anymore, and a lot of their rides are high up in the air, and I don't understand what the fascination is with that. When I was younger, it was cool, but now there's really not much for me to do there. Plus, when you look at the people running the roller coasters and all these dangerous rides, they're like 15-year-olds. I'm not putting my life in a 15-year-old's hand. Uh-uh. No. At Disney, they have trained professionals. At least that's how I picture it. Trained professionals putting me on these scary rides. And at Disney World, they don't have rides that are too high to where my stomach won't like it. Mando Season 4. Let's talk about that one. Hey, Night Spearhead, thank you. About to head out to work. Figured I'd stop by and drop a tip. Thank you. I really appreciate that. And have a good day at work. Just stay positive in it. I know work is different than hobby. That's why we call it work. So, what's known about Mando Season 4? Okay, so there's a lot of different reports coming out about Mando Season 4. One is that it's going to be delayed. The filming was supposed to start in September. And from what they're reporting, because of the strike going on with the Writers Guild, that it's being pushed back. Well, not necessarily. To me, and from what I understand, it should still start up in September. The Writers Guild should be finished with their contract negotiations then. That would be able to put producers back on the sets. And also, Jon Favreau said a while before we even watched The Mandalorian Season 3 that he already had the script done for Mando Season 4. Now, The Mandalorian Season 4 hasn't began filming yet, or begun, hasn't, don't grammar Nazi me, but it hasn't begun filming yet. And once the script's written, that isn't the end of it. That isn't the end of the writing process, because writers have to be on set in case, there needs to be a writing change that doesn't really work out with the set or with the characters. And some actors will input, hey, I feel like my character would do this. And then they have to go to the writers about it. And then the writers have to change script and change a couple other things on down the line to accommodate for this. So writers need to be there. Tony Gilroy not being on the set of Andor really hurts because he is the writer, one of the writers, the principal showrunner of it. And so he would have to approve these changes and all that. So if he's not there while they're filming it, then pretty much anybody can say, hey, I'm changing this and we're going to do it. Yeehaw! And that's the way it's going to go. And we're going to get this hootenanny hayride of Andor Season 2. I'd rather him just wait and finish it. But Mando Season 4, Jon Favreau has finished the script from what he says. At the end of Mandalorian Season 3, I didn't really see much that could be done with a Mandalorian Season 4. It seemed like a finale to me. It seemed like an end. And I'm wondering if there really is going to be a Season 4. I mean, if somebody can confirm whether they said there's definitely going to be a Season 4, or if Jon Favreau was just pulling our leg at that time to divert us away from them making a Mandalorian movie. Because it seems like a Mandalorian movie would wrap up any loose ends. But there is also the question of Mando's background, his childhood. Who is he? Where was he from? That sort of thing. Where is he going to go? I know he's not just going to kick back with hay sticking out of his helmet on a farm watching Grogu toss around frogs. It's got to end somewhere. And I felt like Season 3 was a good ending, but there's some loose ends that need to be wrapped up. Not like an end, it's a soft reboot. Yeah, Grogu should, and a lot of people are saying Grogu should be the Mandalore. He's a toddler. I'm sorry, he doesn't have those skills to work politically. He might have a little bit of talent as far as combat, but he doesn't have the political prowess yet. He's a toddler, even though he's a 52-year-old toddler. Is that management will try to squeeze productivity faster than usual? I think they've learned a lesson on that with the sequel trilogy. I hope that, in my case, if I was them, I would have learned a lesson from pushing production faster, because a lot of people don't like it. Okay, good. I'm glad season 4 is in the works. I mean, I'd like to see a Mandalorian season 4 before the Mandalorian movie. Well, Grogu's wearing the chainmail. He couldn't. I don't know. They'd have to make little tiny little breastplates for him and stuff, and little abdomen section, little bitty baby shoulder pads. Um, but how was it? And Mom, if you haven't seen all of the Mandalorian season 3 yet, close your ears. Um, but how did, that's one thing that bugged me about the Mandalorian season 3 at the end was Ragnar becomes this orphan. His dad was killed. Um, Axe Woves looked like he took over as the parental figure of Ragnar. If you don't know, Ragnar's the little kid that got the old Hasbro style Mandalorian helmet. Um, got saved from the raptor and all that stuff. But Ragnar becomes this orphan, and he still dedicates himself to the Mandalorian way. He still bathes in the, or dips himself in the living waters of Mandalore, and and announces his creed. That should have been cheered more than Grogu just being put as a Mandalorian. I mean, I like Grogu and everything. I think he's cool. But Ragnar went through some crap to get to that place. Um, he he should have had just as much cheering as Grogu did. Do you hope do you hope they do justice to characters like Finn, Poe, and Rey, for example? I think they need to nerf Rey just a little bit. Um, Finn, I think they need to go more into his force sensitivity. It was only a passing spoken in The Rise of Skywalker. They need to go more into that. Poe, they definitely need to do something with him. Quit making him a goofy character. I know he's supposed to be this Han Solo like character, but his jokes were a little off putting, if that makes sense. Um, needs to be more of a serious character. We've had a Han Solo already. We don't need another Han Solo. Nobody can replace Han Solo. Um, I think Poe should show that he is the leader that uh, Leia left him to be. Yeah, I'd like to see at least a series on Finn, and also I'd like to see a series continuing um, Han Solo's story from Solo, a Star Wars story. I, I don't necessarily think it should be a movie. I think it should be a series, and it should go further into Crimson Dawn and Maul's time at Crimson Dawn. Not so much Kira. I'm about done with her. But that's why you don't hear me talk about her on the channel at all, because I'm about done with her. I'm just tired of everything being about Kira. Yeah, that's another thing. In The Mandalorian season 4, I hope they go into who the armorer is just to shut everybody up, including myself, because I've been preaching she's rook cast for the longest time, and she may not be, and I'm okay with that. My theories don't have to be right, and they don't. My speculations don't have to be expectations, and they're not, because whatever they produce is it's up to their minds. It's their stories. Yes, I do play the video games. I talked about it a little bit in the beginning. I play Jedi Survivor. I play Battlefront 2. I love Battlefront 2 still to this day, and I know a lot of people don't. They hate EA and whatever. Who cares? I have fun playing Blast. I just go in and kill a bunch of people and then move on to the next mission. I love it. The customization in that game could have been a little bit better. Um, make your character truly unique and not just with loadouts and stuff. Jedi Survivor, I'm loving. I think it's great. I hope this patch really fixes, my lag in it and everything. Um, like I said, I didn't have any lag or any problems before the first patch came out. Then when the first patch came out, it just almost wasn't playable. Oh, you should get back to it. Play some Battlefront 2. Yeah, Battlefront 2 is a great game. Not so much the story mode. I mean, that was simple and easy. I beat that in like, I think 5 hours or something. I beat it, and it was on the hardest mode. And like I said before, the Hogwarts game, I'm loving that. Hogwarts Legacy is just incredible. Um, it just, I'm a Harry Potter fan anyway. I don't have a channel about it, and I thought about making a second channel about Harry Potter, but it's not as much for me as Star Wars is. Nothing else is good for me as Star Wars is. So I didn't see the passion in creating a Harry Potter channel, or a Hogwarts, or a magical world, Fantastic Beasts, whatever. I didn't see a need to do that because I don't have that passion. But the Harry Potter game is just, it's good. I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah, the story for story mode was really good. I agree, but the playability of it was just lacking for some reason. It was too easy for me. They should have made it open world. And by the way, they really need to figure this open world Star Wars game out. I don't know how many more botched colonoscopies I'm going to make it through, but um, yeah, I'd like to play an open world Star Wars game before I get arthritis. Um, and that's another thing I wanted to bring up before I go. I know I've overran my hour, but the Old Republic. A lot of people are dissing the High Republic. I don't know if dissing is the right word anymore. A lot of people have beef with the High Republic because they think it's replacing the Old Republic, and it's not. The High Republic is a totally different time frame. It's 100 or 250 to 100 years before the Phantom Menace, where the Old Republic is thousands of years before the Phantom Menace. And I think that's what they're building up to with this Dawn of the Jedi movie that they're going to come out with. I feel like that is going to set the stage for the Old Republic, for them to start making Old Republic stuff. They're they're too deeply invested in the Imperial era, and it's it's time to move on. Let's move on to something else. I love the Imperial era. It's what I grew up with and everything, but how many stories can you tell before it starts getting a little tiresome? I think they need to go to do the Dawn of the Jedi, where I think the Zepho will come into place from the Jedi Fallen Order, and it'll move into the Prime Jedi, and then into the eventually the Jedi Sith Wars, and that's the that's the thing about the expanded universe that I love is the Old Republic. I want Old Republic stuff, and I think starting with the Dawn of the Jedi, it's going to work its way up through that. Now it may conclude after I'm gone, but my videos will still be here. Maybe one of my kids will be interested enough to take over for me at that point. Yeah, the High Republic. I've read two of the novels so far, and I've got one, two, three, four, five, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I have 12 High Republic novels, and I've read two. It's because I've been stuck with the Imperial era stuff that I've been reading. I'm finishing up the last Thrawn book now. Um, but yeah, the two I've read, they were great. They had great character development, great world building, great suspense and action and all that. And it's really showing me what happened to the Jedi to get them to the complacency of the Phantom Menace. Thanks, Mom. I appreciate that. But yeah, I am going to have to get going, guys. I have a couple things to do. Got to go pick up a kid, um, go for a walk, possibly, if the rain has stopped. Um, yeah, exactly, Pete. And I agree. See, I get sidetracked easy. You guys pull me right back in. Yeah, I mean, let's get out of the Imperial era for a little while. At least for a little while, we don't, everything isn't, the Empire didn't always control the galaxy. Um, Jedi weren't always the standing force in the Republic. There was an equally powerful force in the Sith at one time that measured in the thousands. Um, but yeah, I do need to get going. I really appreciate you guys being here and listening to me talk about myself for so long. I'm sorry for that. I just really wanted to give you guys a good update and let you know that I was doing better, or I am doing better, and that I'm going to continue this. This is one of my passions in life, other than family. This is one of my passions, and that experience really woke me up and made me realize it. So, um, yes, I would like it if Legends was continued. So thank you all for being here. Thank you all for hanging out with me today. I really, really, really appreciate you all. Let's get the word out about the channel. Let's see how big we can spread this thing. I'm still on that mission to hit 50,000 subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed yet, just click the button. If you don't like me later on, just say, okay, I don't like you. I'm unsubscribing. A lot of people do that, and I don't ever put them down for it. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but I am my cup of tea. That's a little, maybe that was a little, too secure in myself. I don't know. But thank you all. Thank you all so much. This is Gerald, a Star Wars fanatic, signing off, wishing you all great health, happiness, and peace. Thank you all for watching. And remember, this is the way. And positivity.